All right, welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. Let's talk today about motivation. I want to talk to you a little bit about how you're feeling in your life and in your business. Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling like some days you get up and it's a struggle? It's just hard to get out of bed. Do you feel like maybe you're trying your best to motivate yourself, but you're having a struggle to do it? Like you're trying to figure out how to get yourself re-energized, reinvigorated, re-going on your goals and dreams. Look, I think that in our life and in our business, we always go through cycles. I think you'll have times that you feel amazing and times that you're really struggling. It's just part of life. It's part of the balance that you have to live on a day-to-day basis. But I do think it's important for you to understand ways to create motivation for yourself, ways to know what it is that gets you going, which helps you to get to the next level. So let's talk a little bit about that today. But let's also maybe start by talking about what causes this to happen. What causes your lack of motivation? Because I think burnout and fatigue is a real thing. If you're grinding and you're working on your goals and you're trying everything you can to get to the next level, it is tough sometimes. It's tough sometimes to maintain that. And I know that's what causes that burnout and fatigue. And you may feel like you're lacking motivation, but you're just tired. And that's okay. You have to recognize that and you have to learn to rest and recover. We talked about before that the corporate athlete can stress your life out, but you have to find time to recovery because recovery is where the growth is. If you're working out or you're any kind of a professional athlete, recovery is when your muscles grow. It's not when you're stressing yourself. So that's really important. I also think it's important to realize that if you lack some clarity in your direction, it's going to be really difficult for you to get moving forward and motivated. When you lack clarity, sometimes you don't know why you're doing what you're doing. And sometimes you just feel like you're doing it for nothing, right? Do you ever feel like, gosh, what am I even doing this for? And that comes from lack of clarity. Another thing that you can have that may cause your lack of motivation is your surroundings. You may not realize it, but there are people and environments around you that can drain your energy, that can drain your motivation. So it's really important that you recognize that. You also need to make sure that you're learning to create certainty in your life, because when you're uncertain what's going on, it's part of that lack of clarity. When you're lacking certainty, it's very difficult sometimes to move forward. And the other thing that can cause your lack of motivation is lack of results. When you lack results, that's something that's going to make it very difficult for you to be able to move forward in your life. And lacking results is something that you need to look at, because if you're lacking the results then you've got to move to the next direction of creating some progress in your life. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about motivation. Let's talk about what it is that you need to do in order to move to the next level. And it's important to understand that motivation is short-term. Motivation is not something that you try to create long-term in your life because it's very short-term. What you really want is you want discipline. But let's be honest, even if you have a very disciplined mental attitude, even if you have a disciplined daily rituals, there are times in your life that you're really stressed and you've got to find ways to motivate yourself to do the things you don't want to do, to go to the next level when you don't feel like doing it. So just understand that motivation is short-term, but it's still a tool you can use. Also, it's something that you need as fuel to get momentum at times. So you might be very consistent and driven and disciplined in your rituals or in your business, but sometimes you need that motivation in order to kickstart or fuel a big run in your business, in your life, and things like that. So just understand what motivation is. It's a tool. It's something that's short-term, and it's something you can use to create some motivation. So let's talk just a minute about where I believe motivation starts. And I do believe, as I mentioned before, that motivation starts with clarity. I think you've got to get really clear on what the vision is you're trying to create in your business, in your life, and things like that. With a clear vision, what you're going to find is that you're going to be more inspired to do the things you need to do. So clarity and really drilling down, that means identifying what it is that you're trying to do. What is your purpose? What is the meaning behind the actions you're trying to take? Clarity means having, yes, goals and a destination and steps and benchmarks, but it also means what is it that your purpose is behind the reason you're doing it? And there's a difference between, I think, purpose and your reason. I think purpose is something you've got to feel like your clarity of your direction is going to have impact. It's going to have something outside yourself. But then also you need to understand, and you've probably heard many times in your life, to really drill down on what your why is. See, a lot of times we have a difficult time motivating ourselves for us, but your why might be your kids, your family, your employees, your impact you have in the marketplace. Really clearly outline what your why is. And the reason I bring this whole topic up is because if you want to create motivation in your life, you've got to start with some clarity, and clarity around your purpose, around your why, the reason you're doing things. And also what that'll do is it'll help you to give something to go back to. It's your North Star. It's something that you can use as a mile marker to guide yourself. And so really start with clarity. And then once you start with clarity, there's of course a ton of tips and strategies that I would recommend in order to create and start and regenerate or generate motivation. And I think you need to understand that everybody's different. Everybody's motivated by different things. And so really look to understand what it is that drives you individually. And I'll give you an example. For me, I can get real motivated if I'm working out, I'm in the gym. Other people, it might be music. It might be people that they're around that motivate them. There's this belief transference, but there's also motivation transference. Have you ever been around someone that is just extremely energetic and you can get motivated by that? Or someone who's winning? When you're around winners, you get motivated. So understand that everybody's different, number one. And number two, start with some daily rituals. Find things that you can do ongoing, or things that you find you can do that will inspire you and motivate you on a day-to-day basis. So for example, you might have mobile apps or podcasts that you listen to. There's certain people that if you play a video or play a podcast, just listening to them kicks you in the butt. Some people need a kick in the butt. Others need to be inspired and motivated through different ways of talking. And because sometimes people get turned off by the David Goggins, whereas that motivates me. Or you might need something that's more inspirational that'll motivate you. Whereas there are times in my life that works better than the other. So find mobile apps or podcasts or different things you can listen to. What about music? We all know that there are certain songs and music that can get your frequency going a little bit and you can get a little bit more motivation. Another thing is people. Understand and recognize the types of people that will motivate you and be around them when you need to be. A lot of times we don't take the time to really identify who it is that we need to be around. Your network is your net worth, but it's also your fuel for motivation. So the right people, the right music, maybe mobile apps, maybe podcasts. I also recommend memories. If you can identify certain memories that motivate you, things where you felt recognition, things where you felt the most happy, things where you felt the most clarity, identify those unique periods of time, those memories, because those will be huge for you to motivate you. And then most importantly, I want to recommend you really are conscious of your environment. Sometimes when you're feeling a lack of motivation, you just need to change your environment and get into a different place. When you get into a different place, it'll make a big difference for you. So just remember, it's never too late to start living the life you're meant to live. And it's never too late to start working on your motivation. So do everything you can to really go to the next level with your motivation and use it as a tool to take you to the depths of where you want to be in your life and your fulfillment and meaning, but also to the pinnacle of what you're trying to accomplish. That's my goal for you with this episode. So do me a favor, share this episode. We don't do any ads on the show. And so we really rely on you to be able to share the message. I'd really appreciate it. It mean the world to me, but also I think it'll help other people that might be struggling with their motivation. The other thing is I'd love for you to hit me up on the Daily Mastermind on Facebook or Instagram, any of those areas that you know that you can get a hold of me, because I want to know what you're working on. I'd like to know what it is we can do to help you go to the next level. So that's my message for today. I hope you have an amazing day. I'll look forward to talking with you more tomorrow. Once again, this has been the Daily Mastermind. Have a great day.